Yeah, and I want to say this too for at least the L'Jarius Sneed stuff. Like, there is no chance that's happening. I don't see it. I mean, if you're going to
Yeah,
get
I'm with you.
L'Jarius Sneed, you're going to have to trade for him, trade
Mhm.
assets, and extend him. Like, I don't know. I don't think if I'm Kansas City, I'm tagging him. I'm going to trade him. And I don't think the Lions are going to be buyers there. So I don't think Sneed's a realistic option. I think we discussed corners before, and we'll probably do it again at some point closer to free agency. Like ideal guys. I know Kendall Fuller was mocked from ESPN. You weren't a huge fan of that one, Lucas.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for at least for a guy like that, maybe a flyer makes sense. You bring in a veteran corner, and like you said, you draft a corner, maybe develop them. Because I mean, even Trent McDuffie for speaking of the Chiefs, staying on the Chiefs, he was a late round pick, or at least he was picked at 21 in the first round. But like we kind of already discussed that, like it's not a common thing where guys in the 20s at corner are super productive. It's usually either top of the draft or you're talking second, third, fourth round where guys are coming out that are really, really good. So I'm curious. Like that's why when we do these mock drafts, we draft corners in the second, third round. Like I think that's probably what Brad will do. But if a guy falls, who
Hey,
knows? I mean, these mock drafts, man, they're not the Bible.
And the only
we've
corner
learned that really quick with Brad Holmes too.
Yes.
The only corner that I really think Holmes has really been like rumored to fall in love with was last year with Witherspoon, and he didn't fall to him. And right after Witherspoon went, he traded back and got Jameer. So I don't think anybody's complaining about it. But the only real DB that's ever been tied to Brad Holmes has been Devon Witherspoon. It's because he can cover and he can hit, and he showed it on full display in his first year. So I think that's the only guy where if Brad were to take a corner, that would have been the guy.
Hey, and too with the L'Jarius Sneed stuff too, and the argument that I see a lot of people who want to go after him, it's they start bringing up examples like last year, like go look at like some of the games last year, like he would have locked a couple of those receivers down. Like let's just call it what it is. Like Jerry Jacobs, Kendall Vildor, like some of these guys, you just need to upgrade that a little bit, in my opinion. Like you just went to the NFC Championship game with those guys. If you do go get an average veteran to bring in and then maybe draft someone, and if he has a good feeling about someone in the second or third and he brings a guy in, that already to me is an upgrade to what you had across from Cam Sutton. So like to me, it's like that's what you need to do. Like I would love to go get a big time guy. Is it worth your 29th overall pick and spending $25 million? No, like to me, dude, it's not. Like you can go get you can address the D line, you can go get a vet corner, you can go add other pieces. Like if you just go at this corner, spend 25 million, 30 million, whatever it is, and give up a pick, is that worth it? Like to me, no. It's just you just need to upgrade these positions somehow, some way to kind of take that step forward, and that's all. And Brad said it yesterday. Like we're trying to get better. We're not trying to like put ourselves in crutches. Like we want to keep getting better. I just don't see like going and spending a ton of money on one guy is going to help. Like obviously it's going to help because he's a great player, but overall,
I have an answer for you. Like we look at Brad Holmes, we think of him as a draft savant. Like take away the DB thing he said. Like as an overall draft savant, right? Like you want to give this guy as much ammunition as possible. And people bring up L'Jarius Sneed. Yeah, like in Madden or any other option, like you just go acquire guys. I don't think Brad's going to do that. And to even make my point more realistic, L'Jarius Sneed was a 4th round pick. Like, let's not forget that, guys. Like he was what did he play? Louisiana State or Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
So like, and again, I'm not saying those guys just grow on trees, but what I am saying is Brett Veach is great in the draft. He's always been. And Kansas City, how they're operated is they do it very smart. I think Brad operates in a similar way. I think from Brad's point of view, why give up everything in the kitchen sink to go get a L'Jarius Sneed when he's shown the ability to find late round studs? You not saying you'll draft L'Jarius Sneed this year, but who's to say you won't? Who's to say you won't draft a corner one late in the draft? Who can become a corner one, number one corner? Like that's my take on it. Like L'Jarius wasn't a top 5 pick. He was picked in the 4th round, guys.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I mean, you even brought up Trent McDuffie. There's a lot of corners who succeed with Steve Spagnuolo. There's a lot of safeties who succeed with Steve Spagnuolo. So I'm not saying that L'Jarius Sneed is not a good corner. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but he was in a very good situation where that was probably the best you're going to see out of him in his career, and that's not a knock. He can still go on to have great seasons, but he was the number 1 corner on a Super Bowl winning team of the best secondary in the league. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate that. So if you want to go out there and pay that money, that's fine. but I don't think he's going to be able to look like he did, especially without Trent McDuffie on the other side, Mike Edwards, etc.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that he's not going to have in a new situation if he wants a lot of money, and that'll show over time.
By the way, too, with L'Jarius Sneed, too, I saw someone in the comment section mention and bring up you won't have to give up 29. You can just do your second round pick. Well, real quick, the second round pick, I believe, is 61, which is basically a third round pick. And if you think, like, in my opinion, and shout out, my cousin actually tweeted me when I put this L'Jarius Sneed stuff out and said, I don't know if the Chiefs, and he's a Chiefs fan, he's from Kansas City, and he said, I don't know if the Chiefs would be basically willing to take just a third round pick and to move on from him. Like, there's going to be other teams that are offering him second round picks that are in a way better spot than the Detroit Lions sitting at 61. So it's like, hey, if Brad, I think Brad's going to avoid doing this, and we know that he's not going to go this route. Say he did, he's going to have to offer 29. Like, he's not going to be able to go up and say, hey, I'll give you 61 for it. Like, teams, like, what do we do? You guys see what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be better offers and better, like, and I know L'Jarius is probably going to be able to pick some different spots, but they still are going to want a decent offer for him. So you're probably going to, like, if it's a true thing and if you're all bought in on going after L'Jarius Sneed, you're going to have to probably give up 29.
Yeah.
And I don't think Brad's going to even think about it.
At the end of the day, I don't think we're even going to get him. Like, obviously it's a pipe dream, but like giving up assets and then getting that big contract when there's other needs that you could address, I would rather just go sign a big dog on the defensive line than go out and give up assets and trade for a corner when you can just sign a lower end corner, not like a lower end, but like a Stephen Gilmore, like Lucas always brings up, like an older vet or even a guy on a more realistic contract than what you're going to get for Sneed. So.
Yeah, and even this comment, which I get the mindset, but then I want to bring it up here. Andrew Jones, he says, we are in a window, though. We need a sure thing, not a chance. And I get what Andrew's saying in terms of proven players, but that's how teams get themselves in trouble.
Yes,
is when you go for sure things and you spend money. Not saying Brad shouldn't spend money. I'm saying spend significant money. And you get yourself in a difficult situation to get out of, or you get trapped. And I think Brad maintaining flexibility, his ability to identify talent, like, you should be all for, like, save draft capital, right? Like, Brad, go find guys, and he's proven to do that. So I have no reason to believe he won't do that. I just don't know if, and even this, he followed it up here. He says, Andrew Jones says Ramsey sure didn't work out. And again, Ramsey is,
they won a Super Bowl for Ramsey.
And they acquired Ramsey for a Super Bowl run. So that's another thing too, which I get, right? You get a proven corner. I don't think Brad.
Look
at
what happened to their defense quick. Ramsey had to lead. Like, everything fell apart right after they did get their Super Bowl.
They got their Super Bowl, yes.
At the end of the day, what is Brad Holmes right now? I want to build continual success, and that's what they're doing something. They're not trying to just get one and be done. They're trying to build like an actual franchise, which personally I would rather have that. Like, I would rather have win 2 or 3 in the next 6 or 7 years than win one. I would love to win a Super Bowl, but I would love to get multiple.
I would sell my soul for a Super Bowl. I don't even care about
I agree.
it. But I'm not even saying, like, oh, it's not worth it. Like, you pinky up. Like, Ramsey worked out for the Rams. Like, so I get that. But that's Jalen Ramsey. Like, I think Ramsey's proven that, hey, if you need help specifically, go get a Jalen Ramsey. Like, I get that. But L'Jarius Sneed would be a little different because you have to extend him long term. You have guys that you want to lock up that need contract extensions, and you're trying to add more to your defense. I just don't know if Brad will see it as the right fit right now. I don't think so.
Dude, I'm just gonna keep going back. Like, I just think there's vets out there, and there's guys who are capable of coming in and actually playing good football. Like, if you need a sure thing, like, there are sure things out there that they're not gonna be like stars and young stars that you can keep them around for a while, but there's gonna be vets out there that are sure things that can go help. Gilmore can help you make a Super Bowl run. He's been on really good football teams. Yes, he's a little older. Guess what? He can still play football. Like, there are guys out there. Kendall Fuller, he can still play football.
No,
like, that's, but like, that's all right. Who are you taking, Kendall Fuller or Jerry Jacobs? Like, that's the thing.
If we're talking about spending money on Kendall Fuller, I'm gonna go get a Sean Murphy Bunting. There's about 3 other corners that actually can play outside, and Kendall Fuller's a guy who hardly can play man coverage and is a slot guy for the most part. The Lions need an outside wide receiver. I'm just saying that I just reacted to hearing the name Kendall Fuller is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
Just like, who would you rather have, a Jerry Jacobs or him? Like that's what you're trying to upgrade this position.
I get that.
You're trying to upgrade the position, and if you go that route, you just got better. and you got better for way cheaper than you did for 25 millions and probably your first or second round pick. Like it's way better, and then you could go address other positions.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, shout out to Brown Coat. He says, "I love you guys, but you're tripping on this one." I don't really think we're tripping. I think we're trying to see it from Brad's perspective. I don't think Brad's going to do it. So if he does,
not. A lot of people are going to be mad at disappointed.
If he does, Brown Coat, I'll come on the show and I'll say, Brown Coat, you and others who believe that were right. But I don't think I'll be saying that. I just don't. No one has said that L'Jarius Sneed is not great or good. He's very good.
Very good.
He was an All-Pro, I believe, this year. But I just don't think that's from what Brad Holmes has said. You know, I don't believe we'll run one player away. I think they prioritize depth. I just don't think that's a move. I think he'll try to find a L'Jarius Sneed like the Chiefs did, drafting him in the 4th round. They're going to try and do that. Whether you like it or not, it's just what I believe he'll do. So.
Can I run this by the people? All the people who want to just go all in and just go all L'Jarius Sneed and spend all your money on him and your draft picks. What happens if you do that, go all in, and you end up not winning a Super Bowl? Like what happens there? Then you just went all in, and now you don't have that long-term success. And now guess what? You're right back to another. Like maybe that one player is not going to break you, but if that's like your mentality is, hey, let's just keep going all in. We're in a window. Like I get you're going to make a push for one. You just were one game away from going to a Super Bowl. That was so part of the window as well. Like you just almost went there. Like what happens if you go all in and it doesn't work out? You're screwed. And what he's doing now is he's building something to keep you in the NFC Championship game year after year after year. I'd rather have that than just take 1 year at it. And if it doesn't work, then it's like, okay, now we just have this big contract I don't know. That's where I'm at with it.
And I get what people are saying with the L'Jarius Sneed stuff, right? Like you look at corner, they need a true number 1 corner. L'Jarius Sneed's out there. They can be acquired. Like I get that. I went down this road already. I did it last year. I fell for the bait. Go get this guy. Remember Jalen Ramsey? Go get Jalen Ramsey. Like I know we're in a different position now, but I just don't think Brad. He said it. Like he said it. Like it's not like it's what I think. It's what he said. It's what came out. It came directly from the horse's mouth. He said our approach will be the same. This isn't like a hot take. It's literally what he said. And
this
I
is
think
the funniest thing about like all of this going on right now. It's like Brad is just straight up looking all of us in our eyes and saying, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do." And I'm letting you guys know like the process, what's going to happen. This is the path that I'm taking. I'm on the Booner path. We're going to win Super Bowls. And then there's still like the side where like, no, we want you to go all and go spend a ton of money. And then you just get disappointed because like the last 3 years, it was like last, like I literally, I went back and watched the draft show that we did last year. Go back and watch that. Everyone, as soon as Jalen Carter was available at 6 or whatever it was, everyone, Jalen Carter, Jeff, like even you, like everyone, like you're on air, like here we go, like we got Jalen Carter, like let's go. And then he trades back, and everyone was mad. And then everyone started dropping, and everyone was like Christian Gonzalez at 12, and then he went Jahmyr Gibbs, and everyone's like mad. It's like Brad literally tells us, like I'm not going to do the normal thing, and then people still get mad, and people have these expectations. And I went back and watched it today because I was curious the reactions, and it's funny to go back and watch that and see people. Obviously, you don't know at the time. Now you see the 12 at Jahmyr Gibbs and the trade for the 34 with Sam Laporta. It's just
let's say okay, let's just take Brad's comments. Let's just say Brad didn't say that. What do I think? Like I don't based on Brad Holmes's resume, finding and acquiring talent through the draft.
Yes.
I'm confident, which is crazy to say as as us who cover the Lions, like it's foreign to us, but I'm comfortable taking my chances in the draft.
I agree.
And saving. I mean, look at L'Jarius's contract. He was on he was a 4th round pick. He was making pennies to be their number 1 corner. So that's just what I would do. I think Brad he's a savant just in terms of the draft. Like he just is.